You know, a few updates ago I showed you one beautiful tarantula. I showed her because her posture was worrying me, and I told you that I'm hoping that I'm just looking it too much into it, and I'm hoping that nothing is wrong, but unfortunately I was right. Petko here from the future, because before we continue with the regular video, there are a couple of things that I need to mention in regards to last video, because that was kinda a controversial topic, as I said, and I noticed that there were some things that I didn't really explain very well, and also some things that I didn't even mention, and I realized that while reading through all of the comments that were on that video, I realized what are the stuff that I missed. A lot of you were referring how it is normal to have different cat breeds and different dog breeds, so they don't really see an issue to have different tarantula breeds. But the thing is, all cats are the same species and all dogs are the same species, one species. Scientific name for cats is Felis catus, I believe, and I don't really know what is scientific name for dogs, but it is one species, and then people through multiple generations and crisscrossing everything, they would get different looking cats and different looking breeds, and that's how you form that. But when it comes to tarantulas and hybridization, we are talking about mixing different species. That would be like mixing a lion with a tiger. They are similar, they are big cats, but they aren't the same species, and by mixing them you will get a hybrid. You will not get a different tiger breed, but you will instead get a mixture of two different species. So that is the main difference. That is the difference between hybridization and breeds. Personally, I don't really have anything against hybridization or tarantula hybrids, but as explained, the problem is people that hybridize tarantulas, they will not sell and label those tarantulas as hybrids, as cross between two different species, but instead, if they are similar, like some more expensive species, they will sell it as that species because they want to financially gain from that tarantula and from that situation. As I said, you have Pseudhapalopus hanumavalasumica and Pseudhapalopus striata. Yeah, fasciata. Pseudhapalopus hanumavalasumica is way more expensive than fasciata, and in case person that would like to breed his female Pseudhapalopus hanumavalasumica cannot really buy that male, but he can buy the other male. By mixing the two, he will get slings that will still look kind of like Pseudhapalopus hanumavalasumica, and therefore he will be able to sell them as pure species, getting more money, selling them more expensively. And he did that not because he wanted to make a different tarantula mixture or something to sell it as that, but he only did that because he didn't have appropriate male and he didn't care about it. That is the main problem, the main reason why hybridization is not okay in this hobby. Also, I read a couple of comments saying that wishing for pure tarantulas sounds racist. I cannot even explain, or there is no point explaining why this doesn't make any sense. What were people also saying? Yeah, there were questions about are hybrids sterile, and honestly I have no idea. I know when you mix different mammal species, some combinations result into having a sterile specimen, and some combinations will result into a fertile specimen. So I don't really know what happens when you mix tarantulas, but apparently when you mix different species within the genus, then the offspring will be capable of reproducing. But I'm not really sure if you mix different genuses or genera, when you mix those, what would the end result be, and if you could even mix them. I'm not really sure. Some were arguing that hybridization happens in nature, and that is the case, but it happens in really specific areas. For example, I know that in Mexico you have one river that separates two different Brachypelma species, and of course sometimes a mature male will float on a piece of wood on the other side and hybridize with other species, but it happens, I believe, rarely and in those specific areas. And just because it happens, it is still not an excuse to mix it up in the captivity for just financial reasons. And yeah, to conclude the topic, in perfect world, tarantula hybridization wouldn't be a problem and would actually be a potentially interesting thing to see if we can get some cool looking tarantulas by mixing some different specific species. But the problem is, as I said, people are the problem, greed is the problem, and doing things just for a profit and nothing else. I think that now I covered everything. Back to the video. Wow! The tarantula that I'm talking about is in this room, and it is this right here, the Pseudhapalopus species blue. For last few weeks she was always outside in that weird posture, but in last 2 days I haven't spotted her, so I sneak peek inside, and you can see it now on the camera, but she looks dead to me. So I will take the enclosure and we will inspect it further. Oh, one hand operation, not easy. And I quickly need to show you something else. Actually, a couple of things. Just look at this enclosure. This is the Chilobrachys minax enclosure, and this plant is just insane. You see how it outgrew the entire enclosure, and now we have this overgrown tunnel when you look at it from this angle. And it looked even cooler a few days ago when this top section was kind of covering the entire hole, and when you were looking at it from top you couldn't even see the entrance. But now apparently Tarantula kind of lifted it up and secured it with her web. An awesome enclosure. Too bad I have this for background. I hope that the plant will actually cover the background also. Then it will be insane. I have the same plant in this Chilobrachys lividus enclosure, but it is nearly as grown as much in this enclosure, but this enclosure is older, so it makes sense. Also, I have the same plant in here, and there is also something that I need to show you. That is the Greenling's female spider, and after a couple of confusing situations, now I think that she's finally paired, because you see her abdomen is getting bigger, so I'm hoping that she will lay an egg sac. And over there you see there's a mushroom in the enclosure. Looking good, looking nice. And also same plant. And in this enclosure also same plant. Every time I would post a picture of enclosure that got that plant inside, I would always see a couple of questions about that plant and what is the name. So I don't really know what is the plant, but I will try to figure it out and write it down here. I need to check some older videos back in the day when I got that plant. And I almost forgot to mention this. See, another male bites the dust. But this is not just any male, this is the Chilobrachys species electric blue male, you see? And back in the day, this was one of my favorite tarantula species. I mean, they are still one of my favorites, but not the favorite anymore. I received this handsome male back in 2017 as a gift from Spider's World, so that means it took him around 5 years to mature and die. I don't know when he exactly matured, but I would say like maybe a year ago. So maybe 4 years to reach maturity and then 1 extra year as a mature male. But I'm not 100% sure for how long he was a mature male. I need to preserve him for sure. Now let's check the handsome tarantula, the other handsome tarantula. Actually, we will only confirm that it is dead. I'm like 90% sure, yeah, it is down there. And of course it is in a death curl. I need tweezers to get it out. I'm like 99% sure that the cause of her death is constipation. The same case as with Chilobrachys species hati. You see how her abdomen is super plumped. Yeah, she is constipated for sure. And I have no idea why that happens. I would really like to know how to and if I can prevent it, but I wanted to treat her. The idea was that if she's constipated, maybe I can put her abdomen, her back part of abdomen in warm water, and hopefully that will moisten whatever constipated her, and maybe she will be able to just, poop and throw everything outside. But the problem was I wanted to do that if she becomes passive, because I wasn't 100% sure if she is constipated and if that will help. So if she becomes passive, then that would be a red alert, and I was waiting for that. But she was always bolty. Whenever I would try to open the enclosure, she would just bolt inside of her hide. And now you see she just died, so there wasn't that passive stage or anything like that. And maybe I could somehow immobilize her enough so I can hold her down to dip her abdomen in some warm liquid, but I didn't expect that she will die so quickly. So now if I ever notice that some of my tarantula is acting that way. I will definitely attempt it immediately, because over the last 7 years and a lot of tarantulas, I had a couple of cases like this, so I'm pretty sure that I'm capable to recognize that and not mistake it with pre-molt or some other weird acting, you know, because when tarantula is in pre-molt she also becomes a bit weird sometimes, but it is different. And some of you told that she must be dehydrated, that's why she's holding like that. As I already explained, this enclosure, you see there is a live plant inside, and all enclosures that contain live plants are moisted 2 times per week. So that means that they are more humid than a regular enclosure. Plus I also added the water dish inside. So she also had that. It is currently empty because yeah, she was dead, so I didn't refill it, but she had a water dish just in case. But since she was so plumped, that is immediate sign that it is not a dehydration. Tarantula that is dehydrated, her abdomen will be small and shivered, and not like this, not at all. So now what I want to do, you remember that last time I had this with Pseudhapalopus hati, I dissected her. I cut her abdomen to get the stuff out in order to see if I could confirm the cause of death, and indeed inside of her abdomen we found a large lump of something hard, and I assume that is what caused the constipation. So I am pretty sure we will find something similar here. So yeah, we are going to cut her open. Let me get a knife. And of course, I still don't have a scalpel, so don't tell me, get a proper scalpel, you need it. I will use a cutting knife, because that is what I have. And also, a lot of people were commenting like, where are your gloves? Why are you touching it with your bare hands? I will wash my hands after this, so yeah, they are not, I mean, they don't have poison on them, so I can maybe get some bacteria on me, but I will, after all this, I washed thoroughly my hands, so don't you worry about my hands and about all that stuff. I can manage it. Also, in the same time, I will try to do as little damage to her abdomen as possible, because of course I want to do a taxidermy in the same time and preserve her, like I want to do with every other tarantula that dies here. Can you see this? This is actually, oh, her spinneret just fell off. I barely touched it. Okay. I wanted to point out this. I'm not really sure if this is supposed to stick out so much. See? Okay, let's just cut it. I will do my best to get a proper scalpel for next time when I'm doing a taxidermy. That's a promise. Because even though this cutting knife is fairly sharp, it is still not as sharp. Oh, you see, everything is spilling out now. Ooh, and it smells. Oh, the abdomen is breaking so really, but look at this. This is tarantula poop. No doubt about it, she was constipated like crazy. That must be a terrible way to go out. And also, I don't think that I will be able to do a taxidermy because you see, her abdomen is breaking out weirdly, which is such a shame because she was a beautiful tarantula. Oh, but this is so nasty. And if you could only smell it, then you would know what I'm talking about. Ugh. But I don't really see what caused the constipation. You see, there are some bits and pieces, although this could be an abdomen. But this is the end of her booty, and beside that thing that was sticking out of the end of her abdomen, I don't really see anything hard. So that thing that was sticking out was most likely the plug. And I'm sorry guys, but this smells so bad, and I wanted to do a taxidermy for this video. Not that only I destroyed her abdomen, but also the smell is just too much for me. Or maybe I didn't destroy the abdomen, look. Maybe it was just the bottom part, because you see top blue part is still there, so I can still save her, but I need to figure stuff out. I can try to save this. So bad, so bad. I need to quickly get everything out of abdomen without getting it on the actual abdomen, which is impossible. So much nasty stuff. I'm doing my best. I don't know if it is worth it at all. I'm gonna take this out because this smells the worst. the smell is in the air. God damn. I don't remember Hati smelling so bad. I remember that she smelled, but not as bad as this. If only I could give you the taste through the video. I think that all of you would immediately turn it off. Okay, there is still a bit stuff in the abdomen. So I'm gonna try to get it out. Oh no, I broke another piece of abdomen. Does this even make sense now? I don't know. Ah, look, another piece broke off. No, I'm just giving up on this. Unfortunately, I won't be able to preserve this beautiful tarantula. She will only be preserved in the video, so technically she is preserved, but I'm going to throw her away. Okay, this definitely didn't end as I expected. I expected to have a nice preserved specimen, but now I only have nothing, a dead tarantula. And now I'm kind of worrying. In my refrigerator, I mean in my freezer, I have like 20-ish adult spiders, dead adult spiders, that I'm keeping in order to do a taxidermy on them once I have enough free time and will for that. But now, if those specimens are gonna smell so bad, I'm not really sure if I will be able to do that, if I will be capable to do that. Maybe I will need some breathing mask or something. But this is wild. To get our minds off this, yesterday I recorded an awesome footage of Linda. She was actually partially outside and I fed her with some small roaches and then she came completely outside. So yeah, check that out. That was sweet, right? Now, before we end the video, I'm gonna remind you about this in next couple of videos, but in August I will be in Orlando, Florida, visiting the Animal Con USA. So there will be a chance for all of you that live nearby to come and say hi. You can buy tickets and find more info in the link in the description. So go and check it out and see you there. As I recorded previous clip, I was messing with the camera, changing some settings, and of course I didn't press record to continue recording, and in the meantime, as you can see, I unboxed one package. It came from Kenya and her family. You might remember she sent me a bunch of packages over the years, but none of that is recorded now. So let me just show you what she sent me. An awesome shirt number 1, you see? An awesome shirt number 2, you see? A plush spider, but the thing is, it was in this box. And it is actually scented, which is actually really ironic when you look at what we recorded in today's video. So yeah, a scented spider. Then this awesome looking thing, I didn't even figure out at first what exactly it is. I mean, it is a spider, you see, but it is a metal thing made out of stuff. Like, you see, the abdomen is actually a spoon, but it doesn't end there, because this what represents the carapace and pedipalps and fangs. This is actually a fork. Such a clever use of materials. I mean, such a clever use of items. And then the grand finale, Kenya knows that I love Legos, and she knows that my wife loves plants, succulents and cacti and stuff. So she sent us a Lego set of that exactly. Just awesome. Thank you. And also she didn't include any letter, so I will hear from you later. Thank you for the stuff. And now I can actually finish the video. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, thumbs it up and comment something. If you want to support this channel more, there's a Patreon page. If you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe. I upload every Monday, sometimes on Friday. So see you again soon. Bye.